Hi everybody, it's Kathy here and we are scrap lifting this Sunday afternoon with Scraplift Crafternoon. That's 10 of us with Tara, our fearless leader, leading us, and today this is our inspiration from Darla Weber, and this is such a cute layout. Now I am going to use some Scrapbook Fantasies products to create this layout, so it's going to have a double whammy in the fact that it'll be a creative team layout design as well. So I'm using just a deep purple cardstock to go with these beautiful Boho Beauty papers, which I have fussy cut out some elements from the pages, and I'm going to use florals from this side of the red, as you can see, and I'm using the red and white polka dots as well. So to start with, I'm going to trim this paper, which is Boho Beauty number 1. And then I'm going to use Boho Beauty number 3 as my center, and I'm going to show you again, because when I first did it I didn't think I was in camera to show you the numbers, so I just showed you for a double just to reinforce. So I'm just going to cut a 1-inch frame around all of this piece of paper, and then I'm going to take out the center because I will need it throughout the layout. I am then going to trim this one down by 3/4 of an inch on both sides so that I can use it for my base. Then using my purple, the deep dark purple, which I actually love it because it's almost a grey, I'm going to use that as my colour to match that base of the layout so that it pops off the frame. I'm then going to take out the centre here just like I would with all my framing, because I will use that cardstock on the layout. Now these photos are just beautiful, aren't they? They're my daughter. She was putting on a face mask that she got for Christmas. It was supposed to be Santa's face that was on the mask, and then she's put it on and she's come in saying, "Look at me, look how beautiful I look." And I say, yes, that's the price of beauty, how beautiful she looked. So of course, taking the photos, once they're mine, they're mine. And so she gets on this layout for herself, this beautiful face mask showing just how beautiful, or the ritual of it takes to be beautiful. So I've just put on some stamps to put in the background, just like Darla has on her layout. I'm also adding in the film strips like she has on hers. Hers, I believe, would be $49 in market probably, and I have die cut mine, and they're going in onto the layout here. Now my photos are bigger than Darla's, so therefore that's going to have an impact on the overall look of my page, but the key elements are all going to be there. Now if you look closely on Darla's one at the beginning and at the end, you will see that she had some stitching there, so I've stamped in that stitching. I have the photo up there matted, and then I have these two here, which I first of all place on the red and white dots as is. So I use those size photos, which are 3.5 by 5. But after I place it and then I start working the layout, I then trim them down even further so that they take up less space. But even though I do that, my photos in both corners will overlap, as opposed to Darla's, which will have that big white space between. And that's what you get when you use different photo sizes, but that's okay. All of this scrap lifting is about being inspired and making them your own. We all have our own interpretation, so when you go and check out everybody else who's playing along today, you're going to see lots of different interpretations of the layout, which is really great, and that's what I like about scrap lifting, is that no two ever end up exactly the same. So as I said, I did do this one, and then I've gone back and I trim it down further to make my photo smaller down on that bottom right hand corner. Now I'm going to mat this one again on the red and white dots, and here's where you see I go, no, they're just too big. So I trim off a bit off the top of this one, and definitely down the side, reducing it even more. And then this one here I take from the sides to reduce it into a thinner photo. So sometimes your background is superfluous to what you want it to be. Other people really focus on backgrounds, whereas I tend to focus on the individual in the photo. So cutting out that background is easy for me. Then I reduce that matte, and that now sits nicer on the page. I'm just going to trim this one down here and add it over to the top left, and even though they overlap, it's fine. I'm happy with that. I'll let it sit. Now on Darla's, I believe they're rub-ons that she has added in the strips across above her photos, but I have got these torn pieces from leftover pieces of Boho Beauty paper, just to give the same sort of effect, but mine are solid with the papers, and I'm just going to add one more gold strip in there just to give that jagged effect. Then I have got these pieces from the Boho Beauty collection. They like scarves or whimsy threads that hang the charms, and I'm using those for the strips that Darla has across hers. Now she has lots of layering of papers behind her photos on her layout, so I'm just going to add strips to give the same sort of effect. I have put a tab up the top there that I'm going to put on a title. I'm adding that one over to the right, and then I've gone off screen and secured all of those pieces in place. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to layer it up with my embellishments, and these are all fussy cut features from the Boho collection, and they fit beautifully on this page and give it that whimsical, well, what I always call Boho a hippie vibe. So I'm adding in little feathers that I fussy cut out of the paper, and the little gems and jewels, and then the flowers, and I'm just layering them up in the key spots that Darla has on her layout so that they mimic what she had in hers. So I'm loving how this is coming together. I like the colours of it. I think for the unique photos, these actually complement beautifully, and that's where it's important to always match your colours in your photos to your layouts. Now I have these 3 chipboard titles. One says beautiful, one says gorgeous, and one says beauty. And I'm using weathered paint to paint them, and then I'm topping them off with some gilt spray splatters, which I'm also adding here to my layout. And that's a little bit different to what Darla's done. She hasn't got any splatters on hers, but I have, just to add that little bit of shine. And that's how my layout has come together. Based on the inspiration from Darla's amazing layout. I know it looks completely different. It is because of the photo sizes, but all the key elements are there, and you can see them reflected on this layout. I'm just adding in those 3 titles of chipboard that I prepared, and I am quite pleased with the placement of everything on this layout, and you can see how the stamping is there, how the layering adds levels to this layout, and the colours just really reflect the colours of the photographs, and that's why they work so well together. So have a great scrappy afternoon this Sunday. Make sure you go and check out everybody else who's playing along. This was the original. I really, really like the original, and then this is my take on it. So I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing. The full playlist is linked down below. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Hopefully I've earned that thumbs up from you. It lets YouTube know you like what I'm doing. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so. I would be grateful to have you as a subscriber. Happy scrapping till next time, everybody. Here's my next video recommendation for you, and I'll see you in the next video.